Hey, ladies and gentlemen, a bit of an unusual one for me. I'm going to start trying to do these more frequently because, man, the world changes so fast. So I've literally done a Salesforce user group, a video today. I've done a number of like client meetings around kicking off agentic work for major enterprise programs, all the way through to how we're managing data coordination across different national boundaries for generative AI development. And I get to the end of the day and I'm getting ready to finish up for the week, and OpenAI drops this thing. So many of you who have followed me will know that there's a thing for JC in particular. There's a lot of things for JC, but there's a thing for JC in particular, which is trying to get people to understand what's possible with nuance and the depth of very human characterization with generative AI, and in two areas. One, in the use of very detailed, yes, psychometric profiling based prompts, very long form prompts that the more powerful frontier models are actually, and have been for some time, very capable at analyzing and understanding and generating deep nuance to how they speak, but also the incredible power of modern voice generative functions and the way in which they absolutely categorically can be made to behave in lifelike, human-like, empathetic ways. And this is super important for everything that this technology is going to be used for. Obviously for customer service, obviously for meeting customer expectation. But in my case, for any of you who've read my blogs, I'm also very passionate about just how incredible this technology is right now, not could be, is right now, for advancing social goods in the world, for dramatically upscaling the huge productivity issue we have, not simply in private sector, but around our ability to scale our public health initiatives, our mental health initiatives, and support for vulnerable people, people in domestic violence. And in all those areas, guess what's really important? The thing that we are always practicing, empathy. Right, empathy is super important. And one of the things that we still encounter now is a very understandable skepticism about, these tools just can't be empathetic. Well, guys, you can literally now go to www.openai.fm. For this little widget, it works in your web browser. And for those of you who've seen me do the speech where I've been using the real-time API to show you cutting-edge voice sim, well, this is now free for you to play with. You can literally pick any of the voices up here. They've done this really nifty little interface where you can switch between them. But most importantly, what they have just released is this massive upgrade, finally, to the API. They found a safe way to allow you to guide the API in how it wants to talk. As far as we understand it, OpenAI have actually had tremendous power in this model for some time, and they've been responsible in not releasing it to market in its full capacity because of the way it can be basically abused. It can be used to emulate people and to do voice cloning, and we don't want any of that happening without people's permission. So it's taken them a while to figure out not how to do this, but how to safely deploy it inside the API. And now we've got something like this. So what I can do here is literally, if I click Auctioneer, and my friend Coral, everyone will know I love using Coral to do my Agatha, the agentic witch routine. But if we play a Coral for a second.
All right, folks. Welcome to the grandest online jewelry auction this side of the internet. Let's get you bidding. Looking for dazzling diamonds, shimmering gold, or rare vintage pieces? Click Browse Auctions and feast your eyes on the...
Okay, and you might think, John, I totally don't want to be talking to that person. But look at how it's been prompted. Staccato, fast-paced, energetic, rhythmic, right? That the key thing here is not the words. The key is the fact that we can now specify the way we want you to speak. And now we'll shift gears to sympathetic, right? We click a button, try a different script, same voice.
I'm so sorry you're dealing with these connection issues. I know how disruptive this can be, especially during important meetings. Let's start by checking the basics.
All right, and we'll stop there. And again, some of you are watching and going, I don't know, JC, they still seem extreme. That's why I'm using Coral. Coral's a very extreme voice. It really emphasizes it. But a number of these other voices is much more subtle. We can go to sports coach. That's what I want, Agatha.
What's up, sports fans?
Coach.
Welcome to the final whistle. I'm your host, and today we're breaking down last night.
Yep, so we know that one. And then we can shift into sincere. So it sounds like this.
Thank you for reaching out. And I'm truly sorry about the unexpected charge on your bill. I completely understand how frustrating this must be.
Okay, so the fact that this is all available in the API means that there is hands down the ability for us to change this, live in response to contextual information. So you're going to have the ability to change the tone and change the emphasis in response to the nature of the evolving conversation. Now, and people have asked me before, like, John, why do you talk so much about OpenAI when you're also then doing all the stuff in Salesforce? Well, the first thing is, first and foremost, I have 30 years of being interested in all of this damn tech. And I do mean 30, like long before generative AI, just in AI in general, and all the way back to cellular automator. So I have a great interest in all of the frontier models. Secondly, the frontier models wind up inside the Salesforce wrapper. So actually, it's an important thing to understand the state of the art, because it then often winds up being exposed in Salesforce. Thirdly, you were absolutely at a point where Salesforce doesn't have their voice solution yet. It'll be coming soon. I imagine it will be state of the art. I imagine it will probably give increasingly in the future the options to either bring your own one, or they're going to wind up aligning to one of these state of the art models. So regardless, being involved in understanding what's possible here, I think, is really important. This is an opportunity to be ready for the voice agent deployment. And they are happening now, right? There are a few people I'm very envious of that are already starting to play with this stuff in a serious way in call centers. But I think a huge part of, and on web pages, I might add as well, not just in call centers, but a huge part of convincing people this is a real thing is a website like this that you can just go to for free and start trying it out. I'm going to switch to a couple of other ones just quickly. Like we can go to Verse, again, as a modern voice, so we could ask Verse to be sympathetic.
I'm so sorry you're dealing with these connection issues. I know how disruptive this can.
Now, it is very American. We can play with that, right? There's no offense to the Americans on the call, but obviously it has a very, very American, emphasis. I think if I switch to Alloy, Alloy is actually one of the older voices. It isn't as adaptive, but that for me sometimes means that they're a little bit more, can I say sincere? If I switch to sincere.
Thank you for reaching out, and I'm truly sorry about the unexpected charge on your bill. I completely understand how frustrating this must be, especially after your stay.
I really like Alloy. Alloy was the first voice that I got to use on the platform, so I'm always going to have a place in my heart for Alloy's voice. And part of the advantage too is that Alloy doesn't have the same, wasn't trained with the same intention of it being able to do so much variety and so many different tone inflections. But I think one of the advantages is it actually makes it slightly more stable. So we're going to be obviously playing around with this enormously. There's a whole bunch of other things that it's done. It's made this all available through various APIs. So now I can use the Agents SDK to pull some of this stuff in. But yeah, I wanted to get a quick video to share to everybody that like you can go to this, right? That's why it's exciting, is if you really wanted to give that thing JC's been showing you on screen a drive, now you can. You can even type stuff in, you can tweak it, you can play with it, you can go, you can see, for those who are so inclined, you can see the code, you can see how easy it is to make this work now. And just as always, man, OpenAI, guys, you're amazing. You're amazing. I'll give my love to Anthropic as well, right? I love both you guys, but it's just incredible to watch the pace of innovation. The pace of innovation is absolutely incredible, and we all benefit from it. That's the other advantage to, again, why I've been such a big fan of the way Salesforce is strategically approaching this, is Salesforce is providing us with tools to just plug in to our favorite frontier model, and the frontier models just keep getting better and better and better and better. So we have this compounding effect of value in the Salesforce ecosystem right now. Salesforce is shipping like they never have before. All of the models are shipping like they never have before. It's an incredible time to be getting in and getting your feet wet and then riding these waves as they come in. So enjoy your weekend. If you really want to geek out, head to openai.fm, give it a go. Very, very exciting times. Thanks, folks.